So I'm going to talk to you about this Greek ship called Prodromos, or Forerunner. In ancient Greece, there was this practice of a small ship called Prodromos that would guide large ships into safe harbor. The larger ship would anchor and be guided by the smaller ship through treacherous rocks and shallow sandbars into the safe port. In my early career, I had a diverse amount of experience around construction. I owned a coffee shop. I did avionics electronics. I worked with Microsoft as a design engineer on the .NET framework. I did projects for the DoD at the Pentagon. I even worked with an NBCU CTO on the Olympic site. But early at Microsoft, I had amazing experiences, and I had this amazing path early in my career that led me in a diversity and amazing mixture of careers that path led me. And Microsoft was a pivotal place for me. It saw me drive technology into human lives in such a way that was extraordinary. And through that technology and driving into human lives, I saw that developers drive industry. There's just something amazing there that struck me. And early on, there was this huge conference at Microsoft where 20,000 engineers congregated at Safeco Field. And it was an amazing experience where Steve Ballmer was there to speak to us. And he was in the background, and I was up by the pitcher's mound. And he started off, and he was quiet, singing, "Developer, developer, developer." And as he got louder, we joined him, and we stood. And I was up there, and he was running, and he was high-fiving people, and he was getting closer to me. And as he got closer to me, I went to high-five him, and we belly bumped. And he flat-backed me, and he's this great big guy, and he was sweaty, and it was amazing, and I'll never forget that event. And I sat there in this crowd, 20,000 engineers, and it struck me that there is this powerful army of engineers. And I thought to myself, could I motivate my peers? And I went on, and a few years later, I worked for the Oregon University system, and I led teams, and I went to colleges, and I worked with IT departments, and I learned, and I grew. And a few years later, I went out and I worked with the Air Force in a big R&D group, and I saw chaos on the government side, chaos on the company side, and I saw that there was breakdowns, and I rolled out Agile, Scrum, which was new at the time, but it worked. And I saw communication work, and I saw how critical communication was to understand engineering principles and understand how to work with the business. And it came together, and it was beautiful, and it was an amazing thing. And from there, just a few years ago, I joined the Acquia team, and we were driving Drupal into the Fortune 1000, and it was amazing that I was working with executive after executive. But they didn't understand. They didn't understand that the capabilities, that technology was right there at their fingertips, and they were missing it. That what they could do, that what they could bring in their campaigns and their brands right at their fingertips. And they just didn't see it. And I was taken back to that point at Safeco Field decades earlier, and I realized I could be that forerunner. I could be that person that goes before. I could be that person for the developer and for the team and for the customer, and so can you. So think about it just for a minute. Each one of us, we're a forerunner for our family. In some fashion, we're a forerunner for a team, for a community, for our children, for a brother or a sister. We're living that out in some fashion. And I think the first step in doing that is to accept who we are and to begin to forge alliances with others around us, people that are going before us, people that are already doing it, and to be in a position of vulnerability and to look out and to be willing to be coached, to be willing to be led. In my own life, I looked for people that could mentor me, to coach me, and today they're still there. I wouldn't be who I am or where I am without that experience. I was willing to be challenged and to be mentored and to grow in my career, and it's made a huge impact in my life. So what's left for you? What's next for you? What challenge are you willing to take on? And I want to challenge you tonight. Today, you have challenges and opportunities before you. In the beginning, Prodromos took them into harbor, but now they're taking them back out. And the potential is limitless. Have a great night.